Welcome to the Alsco Uniforms It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Join us as we spend time with regional managers and national sales managers to discuss their team's growth journeys. In this podcast, we'll talk about sales and service collaboration, celebrate customer retention wins, and highlight stories of service excellence. I'm your host, Dana Craig. Let's get started. Brian Davidson, National Sales Manager that covers Region 4, which is all of Canada. How are you doing today?
Really, really well.
Good to hear. So you're getting to know Canada quite well. I imagine you knew it before, but you cover from woe to go, right? West Coast to East Coast across 7 different plants that we have.
And all the time zones that come with it.
And all the time zones in between. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been with Alsco and kind of what your journey into the NSM position has been.
Yeah, I mean, smooth and exciting, I would say, in that, when you look at growth, my whole career has all been about high growth. And when I heard about the strategy on our pivot and that our focus will be growth as our water, there was nothing that excited me more because I see the market potential for Alsco in Canada. And I'm very excited daily to help grow and achieve that growth objective that we have for Canada.
And I think for you, it's kind of interesting because you come from a growth background, having been in the industry, but not within Alsco other than the last few years. So to you, it's probably music to your ears to hear that was Absolutely. The direction we wanted to go in. Yeah.
Historically, it was one of those things where we always viewed Alsco as a wonderful company, but why not accelerate the growth? And so when I heard about the pivot, I became super excited.
Yeah, great. Well, I know we're really happy to have you in that Canada region. So tell us a little bit about how this year has gone for you all, what your team or region's growth journey has looked like.
Yeah, so over the last year, we've doubled the size of our sales team in Canada. And so with that comes a lot of new energy,
Absolutely.
A lot of new people,
yeah.
and
so opinions.
New opinions, and which we value.
Yeah.
But it's all about now people development. As we look for the years ahead, we need people to be successful in the sales consultant position, because we recognize we're going to need more people in our corporate account programs.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to need more regional sales managers. And so, but it all starts with the development of the sales consultant.
And how has your recruiting effort been in the sales consultant? Are you finding it fairly easy to find people who are a good fit for us?
Interesting. We've seen a shift that it's easier to fill. And so we have candidates applying sooner. We have a broader assortment of skill to look at. And so we've been really successful in filling positions quickly.
That's really nice. If you're getting more people to choose from a wider pool, you can really match task to talent and not just feel like you have to hire quickly for the sake of hiring quickly, but really build out a team, round it out with the skill sets you need.
Yeah, it's one of those speed and accuracy arguments that we always have. But when there's a large candidate pool, you can operate quickly and more precisely to what you're looking for.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about some great stories of either sales and service or sales and operations collaboration that you've been able to witness thus far. I'm assuming there's at least a few.
Yeah, there sure are. And, I think of so proud of the general managers and seeing their passion for getting out into the field. And so I wasn't sure how quickly they'd embrace it, but they surprised me. We've seen general managers, asking for where they can help, but more so understanding more about what a sales consultant's day in the field looks like and how difficult it can be to get to a closing position with a customer.
Right.
And so, I've seen some great examples of teamwork where sales and service have worked together to renew customers, where we really looked at the skill sets of who would be required to reverse that bad news that you receive potentially when a customer calls in and says, we've decided to go in another direction. And then internally, we look at that very quickly and say, who can best get in front of the customer? And so we had this large restaurant group in Vancouver, for example, that sent us in notice that they had planned to move their business. We were able to team up our regional sales manager with the general manager and the district manager and go out and really listen to what were those reasons, and effectively secure the customer, change his mind, get him to renew with us, and in this specific example that we're thinking of, this restaurant group also had additional restaurants that weren't with us.
Oh.
And so we were able to also gain their commitment for the restaurants that we didn't currently
Oh, that's
have.
fabulous.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, to go from kind of a generally negative story to an increased opportunity, that's, you'd like to avoid the negative story, but at least, you were able to turn that around. That's a great story. Well, and I love the idea of getting the general manager, and hopefully they're interested too, getting them directly involved in that way, because decisions can happen quickly too.
Yes.
And I think that gives customers confidence that they are, when we're going in and selling, we want to always be talking to the decision maker. And so this is that opportunity for them to be doing the same.
Yeah, agreed.
And so have you sat in on growth meetings? Have you had that opportunity?
I have.
Yeah.
And I've observed the evolution.
Oh, okay, great. So talk a little bit about that.
So, when we first introduced the growth meetings, I think it was a little awkward for some,
Sure.
trying to find their place. And but I think when we center it around growth, and we talk about, how the first step is retention. The second step is what are the new business opportunities that we're working on, and how can we collaborate and work as a team to win that business. And so I've seen it become more and more refined over the months, to the point where they're very positively focused meetings, all focused on one thing: growth.
Right. And efficient. I think, they're probably becoming more efficient, so that it's a value added period of time, rather than maybe something that in the beginning, if you're unsure about why you're there,
Yes.
Everybody's probably like, this is a great way to start a week, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully
Absolutely.
seeing some of these positive things come from it will make it even more efficient and helpful in the future. So in terms of, so we're almost into July now, really, knocking on the door of August. How are you tackling the back half of the year, knowing what some of the hurdles and challenges we have in front of us?
Well, a good example would be, as we look at our quarter one versus quarter two, we can see that very positive traction of growth. And we had a lot of new sellers in quarter one developing, producing in quarter two. And so our outlook for quarter 3 and 4 is terrific. We expect big results based on really solid pipelines in each of our businesses, and progress towards winning those customers.
And are you continuing to add to that sales consultant pool over the last half of this year? Is that the expectation, or will you start building up again in 25?
Yeah, no, we're going to start building in quarter 3 again. And so we've got 2 more positions that we want to bring on board.
Okay.
And then we're really looking at some pretty strategic decisions about how we grow some of our better markets. For example, Toronto represents a significant growth opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so, but it also comes with about a 7-hour stretch east-west of geography. And so we really think the best solution there is to add an additional RSM, to continue then to add more sellers to each of the RSMs that we'll have in the market. And we think that'll give us better market coverage. We'll compete in each of those territories that, maybe were a little too big for us with a single sales consultant. So it'll allow us to get the territory sized to the point where we can compete aggressively against all competition in those territories.
And what about target market in terms of when you're seeing growth in these different areas, Toronto, for example, are we seeing the potential for target market growth, or are we still kind of, I don't want to use the word stuck, because food and beverage is super important and key for us, but are we seeing a variety and diversity of market opportunity there?
Yeah, and we're already strong in our target market pipelines and success
great.
so far. So, as we look at this year, we're about 2/3 of our new business coming from the target market.
Oh, that's
and so,
awesome.
But food and beverage will still remain
You bet.
strategic to us. We want to continue domination in food and beverage. But I think the biggest opportunity for growth and profitable growth will come from target
market. Great. Well, it's been a pleasure spending some time with you today. I appreciate that. Good luck up north. And we look forward to seeing how the year ends up for you all.
Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Brian. That's all for today's episode of the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of Alsco uniforms, where we explore the growth and challenges in our industry. Tune in next time for more industry insights, growth strategies, and tales from the field. If you've enjoyed our time together, please leave us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to learn more about our services, visit us at ausco.com. From all of us here at the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast at Ausco Uniforms, thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you in the next episode.